Hello everyone, Douglas here and welcome to my Doctor Who review, and today I will be reviewing Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. This story is the first story for Alex Kingston as River Song, but if you watch her story in chronological order, this is her last story, but spoilers! And this story is the last story for Steven Moffat as a regular writer for the show. Before this story's broadcast back in 2008, it was announced that Steven Moffat would be the next showrunner, and I remember when I heard that, I was like, oh yes, because we got great stories from him like The Empty Child, The Girl in the Fireplace, and Blink, and I thought he would be a great showrunner. But more on that later in the next era. In part 1 called Silence in the Library, our cold open scene begins and we hear a voice say, "Close your eyes and tell me what you see." And we see a place and we see a little girl played by Eva Newton, and the place is a library and we see her floating. We see the girl is back in her living room and we see Dr. Moon, played by Colin Salmon, and her dad, played by Mark Dexter. We see the girl is back in the library, and the scene I like is when we see her descend to the floor. We hear the doors behind her, and someone is getting in. And we find out no one is supposed to be there. We see the doors open, and it's the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, and Donna, played by Catherine Tate. And they were running from something. We see the Doctor notices the little girl, and he says, "Oh, hello, sorry to burst in on you like this. Okay, if we stop here for a bit." Our opening scene begins, and the TARDIS has already landed inside the library. We find out from the Doctor, it's the 51st century. We find out from the Doctor, the library is a world, and the whole core of the planet is the index computer. We see Donna grabs a book, and the Doctor takes it away, and he says, "Oi!" Spoilers. We find out from the Doctor these books are from the future. I love Donna's line when she asks the Doctor, "Isn't traveling with you one big spoiler?" And the Doctor replies with, "I try to keep you away from major plot developments." And he is a time traveler, and he knows the future. We find out from the Doctor that this is the biggest library in the universe. So where is everyone? We see the Doctor is looking for life forms, and I love Donna's line when she says, "Maybe it's a Sunday." And the Doctor replies saying, "No, I never land on Sundays. Sundays are boring." Take that, Chibno! We see Donna asks why they are really here. And the Doctor replies saying, "Oh, just passing." I think he knows something that he is letting on. We find out from the Doctor there is no one besides the Doctor and Donna themselves. But if he widened the perimeter to any kind of life, a million give up after that. I love how Donna thinks that the books might be alive. And the scene I like is when the Doctor and Donna are about to open the book and we hear a voice say, "Welcome!" We are back in the part where the TARDIS has landed, and we see a statue with a real face. We find out from the statue that there was a brief message from the head librarian. 1. Nowhere is safe. The library has sealed itself. We can't. Oh, they're here. Ag, snick. We find out from the Doctor that's why they're here. We see the Doctor ask if there is any other messages, same date stamp. We find out from the statue, count the shadows. If you want to live, count the shadows. I think you can tell what the Doctor is up against, and you might think, we are up against shadows? I like the Doctor's line when he says, "Donna, stay out of the shadows." We see the Doctor and Donna are in the hallway, and we find out from the Doctor the real reason they are here because message on the psychic paper. We see the psychic paper, and it says, "The library. Come as soon as you can." I love Donna's line when she says, "Cry for help?" with a kiss. We see Donna asks, who it's from, and the doctor has no idea. We hear a zapping noise, and the lights are going out. And we see the doctor and Donna are running to a door, and we find out it's jammed. I love Donna's line when she says, Sonic it. Use the thingy, and the doctor replies saying, I can't, it's wood. We see Donna kicks the door, and we are in to the events of our cold open scene. If you thought the doctor was talking to the little girl, but he was talking to a camera. We see the little girl hears the sonic screwdriver, and we find out the girl and the camera are connected. We hear the girl's words, and we see them on a message board. We find out from the doctor the camera is alive. We see Dr. Moon ask if she is okay, and we hear the girl say these words, Others are coming. And Dr. Moon asks, Who's coming? Who are the others? We find out more from the girl. The library is breached. Others are coming. We see another statue, and it has a different human face. And we see Donna ask, What does it mean, others? We find out from the statue that the flesh aspect was donated, and that is why they have real faces. We see Donna is freaking out, and she walks backwards, and the doctor stops her because of a shadow. Remember the message, count the shadows. We see the doctor asks, What's casting the shadow? A great line from the doctor when he says, Oh, I'm thick. Look at me. I'm old and thick. Head's too full of stuff. I need a bigger head. We see a hallway, and we see one light is going out. We see Donna thinks the power must be going. We find out from the doctor this place runs on fusion cells. They'll outburn the sun. We see Donna asks, Why is it dark? And the doctor replies saying, It's not dark. We see Donna signals the doctor that the shadow is gone, and we find out from the doctor they need to go. And we also find out the shadow isn't gone, it's moved. We see the statue tells the doctor and Donna the girl's message. We see people with white spacesuits come in. We see River Song, and she says, Hello, sweetie. And we see the doctor tells them to get out. We are also introduced to Statman Lux, played by Steve Pemberton. We are also introduced to Miss Evangelista, played by Pilula Wiley. We find out this group is an expedition, and a funny line from the doctor when he says, Oh, you're not, are you? Tell me you're not archaeologists. I'm a time traveler. I point and laugh at archaeologists. We see Anita, played by Jessica Williams, and she was about to take a look in the hallway, and the doctor tells her to stay out of the shadows. Not a foot, not a finger in the shadows. We are also introduced to Other Dave, played by O.T. Fagbanner. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. And Proper Dave, played by Harry Peacock. We see the doctor ask Other Dave the way he came looks different, and we find out from Other Dave it's a bit darker, so getting out of the way you came in is out of the question. We see River ask if there is danger here. We find out from the doctor something came to this library and killed everything in it, killed a whole world. We find out from River that was 100 years ago. The library has been silent for 100 years. River thinks whatever came here is long dead. We see the doctor points a flashlight in the dark hallways, and a good line from the doctor when he says, Almost every species in the universe has an irrational fear of the dark, but they're wrong, 'cause it's not irrational, it's Vasnalarata. We see the doctor asks if they have lights and form a circle pointing them out. We see Donna notices that River called the doctor Pretty Boy. And I love how the doctor says, Oh, I'm Pretty Boy. We see River pulls out her diary that looks like the TARDIS. We find out that River sent the message on the psychic paper. We see River mentions Crash of the Byzantium, Picnic at Asgard. We find out from River that she has seen the doctor before. We see River ask the doctor if he knows who she is, and he doesn't because this is the doctor's future, and it's sad because it's like you don't recognize your loved ones. We hear the alarm buzzing, and that was Papa Dave, and we find out he was trying to get through into the security protocols. We find out from Donna the alarm is a phone. At the girl's house, we hear the phone ringing. We see the girl ask if her dad is going to answer the phone, and we find out from the dad it's not ringing. That's weird. We see the phone stops ringing. We see the doctor comes up on the TV at the girl's house, and she knows that is her library on TV. We see the TV cuts off the doctor. We see River is wondering who that was. We see the girl is trying to get the doctor back. We see the doctor notice River's diary, and River tells him he is not allowed to see inside the book because of his future. Funny scene I like when the girl sees the secret compartment on the remote and she presses every button and the books are flying off the shelves. We see the doctor notices Cow. We see Donna is asking if Miss Evangelista is alright. We see the doctor ask, who is that little girl? What's she got to do with this place? We see the little girl presses the button on the remote and we see a secret door to a secret passage, and Miss Evangelista sees it. We find out from River there was a message from the library, just one. The lights are going out. Then the computer sealed the planet, and there was nothing for 100 years. We see Miss Evangelista is trying to get everyone's attention, but they ignore her, and we see her go into the secret passage. We find out from River that there was one other thing in the message 4,022 saved, no survivors. So, how is everyone saved if there were no survivors? We find out from River 4,022 was the exact number of people who were in the library when the planet sealed. We hear Miss Evangelista scream and everyone follows it. And we see a skeleton. We see River has a communication device, and she asks Miss Evangelista to state her position. And we find out the skeleton is Miss Evangelista. We find out from River that Miss Evangelista that she is a data ghost. We see Donna ask, what is a data ghost? And we find out from the doctor that there's a neural relay in the communicator. Lets you send thought mails. Sometimes it can hold an impression of a living consciousness for a short time after death, like an afterimage. We see Miss Evangelista is asking for Donna. We see Miss Evangelista is gone. We see the doctor needs a packed lunch. We see the doctor ask who River is to him, but River ignores him. A great line from the doctor when he says, "Right, you lot, let's all meet the Vasnalarada." We see Dr. Moon wants a word with the girl, and this is a great moment. Now listen, this is important. There's the real world, and there's the world of nightmares. What I want you to remember is this, and I know it's hard. The real world is a lie, and your nightmares are real. The library is real. There are people trapped in there. People who need to be saved. The shadows are moving again. Those people are depending on you. Only you can save them. Only you. Wow, what a way to put pressure on a kid. We see the doctor is looking for the Vasnalarada. We see Donna and River are talking. We find out from River the doctor hasn't met her yet. We see River recognizes Donna and she knows the doctor, but in his personal future. We see Donna ask, where is she in the future? We find out from the doctor he's got a live one. We find out from the doctor it's a swarm, a man-eating swarm. We see the doctor throws a chicken leg, and we see the Vasnalarada devour the chicken bone, not for a second. We find out from the doctor the piranhas of the air, the Vasnalarada. Literally, the shadows that melt the flesh. We find out from the doctor most planets have them, but usually in small clusters. We find out from the doctor there are Vasnillarada on Earth and a million other worlds. You can see them sometimes, the dust and sunbeams. We find out from the doctor normally they live on roadkill. We see River ask the doctor what to do, and the doctor says, Alex, aim for the eye stalk, Shantaran's back of the neck, Vasnillarada, run. Just one. Because this monster has no weakness. And how are you supposed to defeat a shadow? We see Donna remembers there was a little shop that you go out to sell you stuff. We see the doctor says this line to Proper Dave. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But you've got two shadows. We see that Proper Dave has two shadows. If you saw the scene where Proper Dave grabs his collar, you can tell he's next. We find out from the doctor that is how they hunt. They latch onto a food source and keep it fresh. We see the doctor tells Proper Dave to stand still like there is a wasp in the room, like there's a million wasps. We see the doctor ask where his helmet is at, and we see Anita grabs it, and the doctor puts it back on. We see the doctor tells everyone to put the helmets back on. We find out from River that they can increase the mesh density. We see River has her own sonic screwdriver, and from River's timeline, she was from the husbands of River's son with the 12th Doctor. We see the Doctor and Donna go in the shop, and there is a teleport, and the Doctor is going to teleport Donna back to the TARDIS. And a funny moment when the Doctor says this to Donna, Donna, let me explain, and she teleports away. The doctor says, that's how you do it. Inside the TARDIS, something goes wrong with the teleport and Donna is gone. We see Proper Dave's other shadow is gone. We find out from the doctor they're never just gone and they never give up. And we see the doctor is looking and we hear this iconic line. Hey, who turned out the lights? We find out from River that Proper Dave is ghosting. And you might be wondering, how is he standing if he is dead? We find out that Vasnillarada ate him, and they took over the suit. We find out from the doctor it's a swarm in the suit. We see Mr. Lux ask, where do they go? And we see River says, see that wall behind you? Duck. And she has a squareness gun. We see the doctor and the group are running. We see the dad made dinner for the girl, and we find out from the girl Donna Noble has been saved. We see the doctor and the group got away, and the doctor is boosting the power to the lights. We find out it won't stop them, but it will slow them down. We see the doctor tells River that he teleported Donna back to the TARDIS, and if they are not back in 5 hours, Emergency Program 1 will activate. We see the doctor finds out she is not back at the TARDIS. He should have received a signal. We see the doctor ask the statue to locate Donna, and we see the statue has Donna's face. We see the Vasnillarada has catched up to the group, and they are trapped, and that is the end of part 1. In part 2, called Forest of the Dead, we see River use the squareness gun, and we see the girl sees her library on TV. We see the girl switches the channel, and on the TV, we see an ambulance arriving at the hospital, and it has Donna. We see Donna meets Dr. Moon, and we find out from Dr. Moon that he has been treating Donna for 2 years, and we see that she has temporary memory loss. But you know that is foreshadowing something. We see Donna and Dr. Moon are walking and notices cow. We see Donna and Dr. Moon are at a river, and we are introduced to Lee, played by Jason Pitt. We do see that Lee has a speech stutter. We see Donna and Lee are fishing. A funny line from Donna when she says this, "What am I going to do with you?" And then she gets married. A great line from Lee when he says, "Welcome home, Miss McAvoy." We see that Donna has twin kids. We see Dr. Moon is visiting, and we find out it has been 7 years. And that was quick. We see Dr. Moon vanishes, and we see a hologram of the doctor, and he sees Donna, and Dr. Moon is back. We see that it is evening, and we see the doctor and the group are back from where they started. We find out from River that sunset's coming, and they can't stay long. We find out from the doctor that there is a signal coming from somewhere else, and we find out from River her screwdriver has a red settings. We see the doctor and River are arguing, and I love Lux's line when he says, "Look at the pair of you. We're all going to die right here, and you're just squabbling like an old married couple." That is foreshadowing something for the next era. We find out from River that one day I'm going to be someone you trust completely. We see River whispers something to the doctor, and we don't know what it is. We see the doctor notices the moonlight. We see the doctor ask Lux about the moon, and we find out from Lux it's not real. It was built as part of the library. It's a doctor moon. We find out Dr. Moon is a virus checker. It supports and maintains the main computer at the core of the planet. We find out it's still active, and we find out someone somewhere in this library alive and communicating with the moon. We find out the signal is from the moon. We get to the events of the scene where Dr. Moon fades out, and we see the doctor as a hologram. We find out from Anita that she has two saddles, and the Vasnillarada are coming after her. We see the doctor put her visor on so he can trick them thinking they already got inside. We see the doctor ask River, "There are 5 people inside, so why is there 6?" And there is the Vasnillarada, and they are after the group again. We see Donna is looking for Dr. Moon, and there is someone watching. We see Donna mentions she is tired, and it is already night. We see a mystery figure all dressed in black. We find out from Lee the letter is for Donna, and the letter says, "Dear Donna, the world is one. Meet me at your usual play park at 2 o'clock tomorrow." We see the girl is seeing this, and she is telling her not to go there. We see Donna is taking her kids to the park. We see the mystery figure is there. We see Donna meets the mystery figure. We find out from the mystery figure Donna got it a few seconds ago. We find out from the mystery figure it is a manner of a dream. We find out the mystery figure knows Donna, and we also find out they met in the library. And the mystery figure mentions that she was kind to the mystery figure before. And we find out the mystery figure is Miss Evangelista. We see the doctor and the group are running in the tube hallway, and he tells River to find a safe spot. We see River tells other Dave to stay with him and pull him if he's too stupid to live. We see the Vasnillarada arrive, and the doctor tries to talk to it. We see the doctor ask the Vasnillarada, "What are they doing in the library?" We see the Vasnillarada are beginning to talk, and we find out they did not come here. We find out they came from here. We see the doctor mentions that they hatch from trees, from spores in trees. We find out from the Vasnillarada this is their forest. You might be thinking, how is a library a forest? And think back to the opening scene where Donna says the books can't be alive. What are books made of? Trees. So they came from the books. We find out from the doctor microspores in a million books. The forest of the Vasnillarada, pupilled and printed and bounded. a million books hatching shadows. We find out other Dave is dead, and the Vasnalarada got him. A good line from the doctor when he says, "Think about me, I'm stupid. I talk too much. I was babbling on. This gob doesn't stop for anything. Want to know the only reason I'm still alive? Always stay near the door." And we see the doctor goes through the trap door, and he is hanging on the beams, and he is trying to make his way to River. We see Miss Evangelista tells Donna to look at the children. We see Donna remembers that she is dead. We find out from Miss Evangelista that they are the dead of the library. We find out from Miss Evangelista that her children were never alive. And we find out all of the children at the park are the same boy and girl. And that was a great twist. We see Donna takes off her veil, and we see Miss Evangelista's face is messed up. And the girl saw it too. It's nighttime at the library, and we see River sees a hat. I love River's line when she says this. You know when you see a photograph of someone you know, but it's from years before you knew them? It's like they're not quite finished. They're not done yet. We see River mentions that he opens the TARDIS doors with a snap of his fingers. We see the doctor was eavesdropping and he says, "Spoilers." We see the doctor ask Anita if she is okay, and she is wondering why the Vasnalarada haven't gotten her yet. We see Anita is wondering what Rivers said to the doctor, and Anita says, "Your secrets are safe with me." And we see the doctor remembers something. We see the doctor ask Lux about the data fragment. We see Donna ask Miss Evangelista why her face is messed up, and we find out transcription errors. We see Donna ask why the children are the same, and we find out it saves space, cyberspace. We find out from the doctor 100 years ago, massive power surge, all teleports going at once. Soon, as the Vasnalarada hit their hatching cycle, they attack. Someone hits the alarm. The computer tries to teleport everyone out. We find out from the doctor the computer saved them. We find out from Miss Evangelista that this world is not real. Wow, this is like the Matrix. We see Donna is asking, whose dream is it? We see Miss Evangelista mentions cow to Donna. We see the girl throws a tantrum, and we hear the alarm go off. We see the auto destruct is activated, and we find out there is 20 minutes, and that is how many minutes we have left of this story. Wow, looking back on this, Harper Holmes was right. Are we sure this story was not written by Chris Chibnall? We see Donna and her kids are back at home, and we see the sky is red. We find out from the doctor this planet is going to crack like an egg. We find out from Lux that Dr. Moon will stop it, and we see that girl stops Dr. Moon. We find out from Lux they need to save Cal. We find out from Lux they need to get to the computer. We see the hatch opens, and they go down to the core of the planet. We see Donna is putting her kids to bed, and a good line from her son when he says, "Sometimes when you're not here, it's like we're not here." And her daughter says, "Even when you close your eyes, we just stop." We see Donna says that she will never close her eyes, and we see her blink, and her kids are gone. And that was heartbreaking. We see the doctor finds the data core, and there are 4,000 living minds trapped inside. We see the girl is calling for help. We see the doctor and River hear it. We find out from the doctor the computer is in sleep mode. And we see River notices the readings, and same with the doctor. And the doctor thinks it's dreaming. And we find out from Lux it is dreaming. We see the statue, and it has the girl's face. We find out from Lux She is the computer, and we find out this is Cal. We see the doctor is furious with Lux about this. We find out Cal is Charlotte Abigail Lux. This would be Lux's grandfather's youngest daughter. We find out from Lux she was dying, so they built her a library and put her mind inside the moon to watch over her and all of human history to pass the time. We find out Cal saved everyone from the library. We find out from the doctor that she does not have enough memory space to make the transfer. And we find out the doctor is going to hook himself up to the computer and she can borrow his memory space. We find out from River that will kill him. We see Anita stays with the doctor, and we see Anita asks the doctor about the Vasnalarada. And we find out from the doctor he is going to seal her inside her little world, take everybody else away. The saddles can swarm to their hot content. We see Anita's questions are turning into an interrogation, and the Vasnalarada got her already, and she is dead. We see the Vasnalarada asked how long he knew, and the doctor knew to count the shadows. We see the doctor tells them he is giving them back their forests, but they are giving them back and letting them go. We see the Vasnalarada are going to kill the doctor, and the doctor is not scared, but angry. I love the doctor's line when he says, I'm the doctor, and you're in the biggest library in the universe. Look me up. We see the saddles stop, and they go back in the suit, and the Vasnalarada leave. We see River is back, and she knocks out the doctor. We see River is wiring herself up. We see the doctor wakes up, and he is handcuffed. And we see River tells the doctor his future. We find out from River that if the doctor wired himself up, it would mean she would never meet him. We see River tells the doctor he will meet her again. We find out what River whispered to the doctor, his name. We see River says her last line to the doctor, spoilers, and we see her die. We see Donna tells Lee that she will find him. We see everyone is back in the library. 4,022 are saved. We see Donna is back at the library, and she sees the doctor. We see Donna had no luck finding Lee. And they walk off, and Lee sees Donna, but it's too late. We see the doctor lays River's diary and sonic screwdriver on the balcony rail, and they leave. We hear a narration from River. When you run with the doctor, it feels like it will never end. But however hard you try, you can't run forever. Everybody knows that everybody dies, and nobody knows it like the doctor. But I do think that all the skies of all the worlds might just turn dark if he ever, for one moment, accepted. We see the doctor runs back, and he is wondering why he gave River his screwdriver, and we find out there is a life support system in her screwdriver. We see him run to the core of the planet. We hear River's narration continues. Everybody knows that everybody dies, but not every day, not today. We see that he uploads River's consciousness to the computer, and the doctor saved her, and she is in the alternate universe. We see River meets Cal and Dr. Moon, and she is reunited with her crew. We hear more of River's narration. Some days are special, some days are so blessed. We see the doctor is back in the library. Some days, nobody dies at all. We see the doctor is back at the TARDIS, and we see him staring at the TARDIS. He snaps his fingers, and the doors open. We see the doctor is back inside the TARDIS. Now and then, every once in a very long while, every day in a million days, when the wind stands fair and the doctor comes to call. We see the doctor closes the doors. Everybody lives. We see River says goodnight to the kids, And that is the end. I will say, this is a classic. And looking back on this, you can tell this is the blueprint for the next series and the next era. This story so had the fairy tale vibe. I also do like how the Doctor meets River, but River knows this was her last adventure, and she knows this was her end. I do love the sets in the story, and they look amazing. And I do love the lighting, and it looks fantastic. The script by Steven Moffat is amazing, the music by Murray Gold is great, and the direction by Euros Lyn is great. I will give Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead a 10 out of 10. So that is my review of Silence in the Library and Forest of the Dead. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you next time for my review of Midnight.